Colleagues, can we be seated? Our 10 minutes is past. I see there's a movement going out. Can we be seated? We are 143 councillors present in the chamber, and there are 154 councillors who have signed the register. As a result, we have a quorum, and the meeting will continue. STC?
We now proceed with applications for leave of absence.
Colleagues, councillors that has asked for leave of absence. Councillor F. Roberts, private business. Colleagues, I'm advised that we have 143 that's inside and 154. We might have lost our quorum. So can we ask those councillors to come? In? Pardon? Pardon? Private business. Councillor J. Carolia, reasons. Councillor F. Chaim, to leave at 1600 hours, religious reasons. Councillor R. Landis, to leave at 1600 hours, religious reasons. Councillor Z. Shaw, to leave at 1600 hour. Councillor C. Forish Shaw, to leave at 1600 hour. Councillor D. Shay, to leave at 1600 hour. Councillor J. Horwitz, to leave at 1600 hour. Now I will ask whether there's any other leave of absence from within the House. Councillor Smith, and then Councillor Ndlela, and then Councillor Mogape, and then MMC Kunene, and then Councillor Ntombela, and then I'm not sure, Councillor Simonse, together with MMC. Right, in that way, can we go?
Thank you, Speaker. I'm not sure if you got to the late arrivals. We've got Councillor Andrew Murray, who will be arriving late due to party business. Councillor Kamela and Councillor Molesani have car trouble. They'll be here shortly. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Councillor Smith. Next, Councillor.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I have a leave of absence for Councillor Nay, who will join us at 13 hours due to religious commitment, and Councillor Shanga is requesting to leave at 14 hours if will not be done by that time. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Ndlela. Councillor Mogape.
Thank you, Speaker. Greeting councillors from the EFF. It's Councillor Ndwele, Ill Health, Councillor Ngwenya, Ill Health, and Councillor Dlada, Ill Health. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. The next hand was MMC. Are you?
I'm
okay.
speaking.
Councillor
Thank you, Madam
Simonse.
Speaker. Good afternoon, Madam Speaker, and to the House. MMC Kunene is going to leave at 1 o'clock. We have late arrivals, which is Councillor Debbie and Councillor Marilyn Snows. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Councillor. The next councillor was Councillor Ntombela.
Thank you, Speaker. Good morning, colleagues. Action as a Councillor Temba Mabunda, Family Bereavement, Ill Health, Councillor Mushapo, Councillor Matabane, and Councillor Nkomo. Councillor Mkonto, Party Business. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you so much. I think that was all the hands that I noted. Are these apologies noted? Thank you so much. STC, next item.
Now we move to recommendations to Council.
Deputy Executive Mayor, can you give us table the reports.
Thank you, Speaker, fellow councillors. I hereby.
Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Speaker. Sorry for disturbing the Deputy Mayor. I've raised my hand before. The EFF is requesting for 5 minutes caucus.
After we have tabled, you can have your 5 minutes. Thank you, Deputy Executive Mayor.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Fellow councillors, I hereby rise to table recommendations to council for consideration. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you so much, Deputy Mayor. 5 minutes it is. It's now 12:21, so at 12:26 you are back, not 12:27 or 12:28, 12:26. Thank you so much. Our 5 minutes is gone. Can we be seated? Colleagues, can we be seated? Chief Whip, Deputy Chief Whip. Protocol, can we give water to councillors that are indicating they need water? Thank you so much. Can we get Councillor Mogape to report back to us? Your 5 minutes became 8 minutes. Can we have you report back?
Thank you, Speaker. The EFF is ready to start the meeting.
Okay, before we go to the item, I would just like to welcome in our midst the Speaker's office from Mangaung, as well as the knowledge management from Mangaung, as well as MPAC from Mangaung, and the city manager's office from Mangaung. They came to, you may clap. They came to the city of Johannesburg as officials to benchmark, and we are saying you are welcome, and thank you so much for benchmarking in the city of Johannesburg. STC? Chief Whip?
Morning, Speaker. Morning. Greetings to the Executive Mayor, and greetings to the Speaker, and greetings to the Deputy Executive Mayor, Chair of Chairs, and all councillors and MMCs. I would like, Speaker, to have a 10-minute caucus break with the whips so that we can fix other things.
So you're asking for 10 minutes with the whips. Okay, whips, I'm granting it, but it's 10 minutes. It's 12:33, 12:43, let's come back. If you're not a whip, remain seated. If you are not a whip, you remain seated. Are the whoops back? We ask that everybody be seated besides whoops outside, but now it seems like everybody else is outside. Chief Whoop, you
thank
did
you,
not
Speak-
whoop them enough because now they are all over the place.
Thanks, Speaker. We had our meeting, our short caucus with all the whips. We agreed that caucuses who want to debate, they will debate. But caucuses who feel that they must just note, they will note. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you so much. Can whoops ensure that everybody's in the house so that we can continue with our meeting? We should have started at 4 because it looks like we are not ready at 12. Thank you, colleagues. Can we then carry on?
On recommendations to council, we're starting off with item 1, and that is the operating adjustment budget for the 2025-26 financial year.
Thank you so much. Can we go to the first councillor, Councillor M. Cook from Good? Colleagues, I see a hand behind you, Councillor Cook, the hand of Councillor Serrane. Councillor Serrane?
Thank you very much, Speaker. Speaker, I need clarity in terms of our safety. When we gathered here, there were a lot of people in the entrance blocking us, insulting us, swearing at us, physically confronting us. Where is our safety there? Should next time when people have concern in our community, we bring them here and close the entrance? How can we allow such to happen? Thank you very much. I just need clarity on that one.
Councillor Serrane, when we opened up the meeting, I gave and I said, I had 2 councillors that came to the office and said they are worried because there are people outside. I did speak and I could not even get the right word out of VOC. VOC had said that they are dealing with it and that there will be no injuries or no one will be assaulted. So if you have been assaulted, please tell us who assaulted you so that we are able to deal with that individual. But it is under control from JOC, VOC, it's under control. Can we continue with the item, Councillor from Good? Can we get you?
How will I point someone from some? How will I know those people?
Pardon?
How will I know those people of some?
I'm allowing you. Can you say what you want to say, Councillor?
How will I identify people that I don't know because they are wearing same regalia day of some? Will I point is this one or that one? In the first place, they were not supposed to be allowed to be here, Speaker. Please. They must do their whatever that they are doing outside, not here at the entrance.
Councillor, can I respond to the councillor? Councillor, can you and me look at each other? When we do council preparation, there is a body called VOC, where we have JMPD and SAPS and everybody there. Even some of our protocols are there. So when we deal with it, I can see your hand, MMC. When we deal with VOC, they give us the comfort that we are being protected. And this morning, when Councillor Smith came to me, I spoke to VOC, and VOC indicated that everything is in order. So if there are people, can we listen? So when there are people that are intimidating people, we must please give it to us so that we can notify them. Right now, Councillor Serrani, we have made a note of it. People from protocol has gone out to speak to the sergeants outside to tell them what's happening. So we will report back to you during the course of this meeting. Can we carry on with the meeting? Councillor MMC?
Speaker, you should take the concerns of Councillor Slani very serious. You should do that because you don't know what happened last time. You don't know what happened. We're not scared. We're not scared to fight. But I'm saying,
Colleagues.
I'm saying to you, that outside, the utterances of MMC Masuku led to the assault of Utabisa, Councillor Tabisa. The utterances of the misinformation of MMC Masuku led to the assault of the EFF councillors. You must deal with it right now.
No, but you are the MMC of
We're not going to stop. You must deal with it. About a decision that actually happened. So
you
take it very serious.
You are MMC of safety when?
MMC?
Yes, you are MMC of safety. We
But
must ask you.
there's no one who said you must stand up here. Sit down. Sit down, Onambengo.
MMC.
Sit down. Oh.
Councillor Mohabi was assaulted. A woman was assaulted because the misinformation of MMC Masuku here lied in publicly about the EFF, and she got assaulted about that. So let's deal with
MMC?
it. Wait, Mayor,
MMC?
wait. I'm telling you
MMC?
right now, let's sort it out.
MMC, can I respond to you? MMC, can I respond to you and to the House at large? Colleagues, Councillor Mogape. Colleagues, can I respond? I'm not going to respond until we all keep quiet. I can't assure you if you are on my throat. Colleagues, Councillor Mogape, I cannot respond to anybody if I have everybody down my throat. Colleagues, I will wait until you are all done. I will wait until you are all done with your insults. No, I can hear from here. I can hear. I'm not talking to you. Zita, please. Councillor Zita, I'm not talking to you. Colleagues, One, I have told you that I've spoken to the people that deals with council to see that we are safe. And I said when Councillor Sarani spoke, I ended off by saying, Councillor Sarani, protocol has noted what you have said. And protocol is on their way out to ensure that we are all safe. And I said I'll come back and report during the course of the meeting that we are all safe. I'm not sure how much I repeat it. Kan ek het sê in Afrikaans? The captain from SAPS is downstairs, and the captain indicated if there's anybody that was assaulted, can you please go and open up a case? MMC, I will write to you the message from the captain, because it seems like not everybody wants to listen to that message, but I'll send it to you. Thank you, MMC. Councillor Councillor Belinda. Ek gaan het nou nie kan regkry nie. Sorry, ma'am. Apologies.
Madam Speaker, baie dankie. Ek is baie bekommerd, Madam Speaker, dat u nie vir ons kan sê dat u kan nie vir ons garantie van ons veiligheid nie. Dit is wat u voorheen nou gesê het, en dit is 'n groot probleem vir my. Dat u nie vir ons veiligheid kan garantie nie. Ons weet van WOC en al die ander mense wat u vir ons nou van gesê het, en die SAPS. Maar het is 'n groot probleem as u in 'n council sitting vir ons sê dat u kan nie ons veiligheid garantie nie. Dis 'n groot probleem.
Councillor Belinda, kom ek sê vir jou raadslid Belinda, ek het in geen omstandighede gesê, ek kan dit nie garantie nie. Ek het gesê wat aangaan, en ek het ook gesê dat dit is nie 'n probleem wie ook nie veilig voel nie. Moet asseblief vir ons sê, hulle voel nie veilig nie, en dat ook die stasiebevelvoerder en almal is buitekant om sake te registreer indien daar iemand is wat nie veilig voel nie. So, if we don't feel safe, I am not one that works with VOC or JOC, so I don't understand if they tell, or I cannot say they are wrong when they are saying we are all safe. I am a councillor like everybody else, and my safety is also in jeopardy if you are not safe. So can we carry on? Can we carry on with the meeting? Huh? Motlala from Action SA. Apologies, I did not see your hand. Apologies, Motlala. IT will put your mic on now.
Oh, thank you very much, Speaker. Speaker, there must not be an animal farm here, Speaker. When the residents are coming here to protest about water, you are telling them to stand outside. The very same VOC is telling them to stand outside. What's the difference between the residents who are fighting for water and they must stand outside? But now, these ones, they are being told to stand inside. So what's the difference, Speaker?
Colleagues, we are going to take 10 minutes to assess the situation. No. You asked us to see whether you are safe. So how do you want us to guarantee that you are safe? Colleagues, I know. We're having a 10-minute break. We'll come back and respond to you. Chair of Chairs. Can we be seated so that we can report back? We can't report back if we are not seated. And every time that we want to report back, we find that councillors are moving out. I'm not sure the anarchy that colleagues, while you're having your small caucuses and you seem not to want to sit, I am proceeding and I'm saying to you, we have spoken to the captain and the captain is now ushering them to where we want them to go outside, on the other side of the fence. So we have dealt with it. And I'm hoping that we are all now fine. Can we go and get Councillor Cook? Councillor Cook, it's your turn. Thank you. IT, can we have the mics on? IT, can we have the mics on, please? Please switch off your mic so long. It will. Is the roving mic? Can you bring the roving mic then, whilst you fix? I have a report that they are all outside now. Councillor Cook.
Good morning, Madam Speaker. Good morning, Executive Mayor in absentia. Good morning, Deputy Executive Mayor. Good morning, all MMCs, all Section 79 chairpersons, Chief Whip. Good morning. As Speaker, I rise to speak on this item, but nothing has changed since the last speech I made. So I think all the comments that I made the last time are still relevant and still on the record. I don't think that there's anything that I need to reiterate. I do thank the MMC for some of the responses given in the last one. I am a little bit concerned about the response regarding training and my capacity as chair. I think in light of what has been said this morning, we need to be a little more sensitive about how we respond to things and maybe not make it so personal. I think it's a bit concerning that an MMC of public safety is raising a safety concern. It's concerning. So with that, Speaker, everything that I said the last time is still on record. I plead with people in the House to please make sure that their responses are accurate. Let's not mislead the House. My request previously that this report came to the Section 79 Finance Committee was a genuine request, and I'm happy to have a discussion with the MMC to clarify my position. I think I was misrepresented in the MMC's response, but my statement remains the same. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you so much, Councillor Cook. Can we have Councillor Steenkamp from the PA? Just behind you, Bata.
Good afternoon, Speaker, Honourable Mayor, Deputy Mayor, and everyone present, MMCs. Speaker, the PA notes this report.
Thank you so much, Councillor Steenkamp. Councillor Harris, colleagues. Councillor Harris from the ICDP.
Mic is working. Good afternoon, Madam Speaker. Good afternoon, Executive Mayor, Deputy Mayor, MMCs, Chairpersons. I'm rising to speak to item 1, the operating adjustment budget for the 2025-2026 financial year. The ACDP notes this report. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Tiam Shongo from the AIC.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Greetings to yourself. Greetings to the Executive Mayor, Deputy Executive Mayor, all members of the MMCs, chairpersons of the Section 79, councillors in the Cllr, in the chamber, and our guests in the Cllr. To all of you, good afternoon. Madam Speaker, the AIC rises to support and note the report. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Councillor Mhlongo. Councillor N. Edward, I'm not sure if it's Edward or Edwards, from the Action SA.
Thank you, Speaker. It's Edward. I rise to speak on item 1. Greetings to you, Speaker, fellow councillors and residents of Johannesburg. Action SA stands here today to do what we should have done from the beginning, to reject this adjustment budget without hesitation. Because what is before us is not governance. It is drift, it is delay, and it is a city that is being run without direction. Speaker, let us deal with facts here. This adjustment budget is being brought outside of the expected timeframes for a credible financial planning. That alone raises serious questions about compliance, planning, discipline, and whether this administration is indeed in control of its own processes. At the same time, the city's financial position is decreasing, and it has decreased over the period. The cash reserves are declining sharply. Payables are increasing into billions. Revenue collection remains weak and unresolved. These are not abstract concerns, Speaker. They point to a municipality that is edging towards financial instability. And if Johannesburg reaches a point of financial distress or intervention, the responsibility will sit squarely with the ANC. Over the past few days, we have listened carefully to the narrative being pushed in this very chamber that Action SA is somehow anti-worker. That claim is not only false, but it is also misleading, because no political party sitting in this council today can stand up and point to a record of advancing the dignity of workers in the way that was done under the leadership of the former mayor, Herman Mashaba. When security guards were insourced,
Councillor
it was...
Edward, can you take your seat? Councillor Rapadu.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I think I'm calling a point of
Councillor
order.
Edward, can you take your seat?
I'm calling a point of order, Madam Speaker, because we're being misled in this council. There is no Action SA mayor. There was a DA mayor called Herman Mashab, so we must not be misled here by this rhetoric. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Councillors, if you didn't raise your hand, please don't scream. Councillor Edward, can you continue?
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. When security guards were insourced, it was not because it was politically convenient. It was because it was the right thing to do. It was to restore dignity of workers. It ended exploitation of workers, and it demonstrated what real leadership looks like. That is why, to this day, even those who governed alongside him cannot claim that legacy, because it does not come from any political party. It was about leadership. So when the ANC now hides behind workers, when it weaponizes the unions, when it distorts issues like the PFA to score political points, we must call it out for what it is. It is not concern for workers. It is political survival, because the reality is the city cannot manage its finances. The city cannot maintain its infrastructure. The city cannot even present a credible budget on time. But we must also address the role of the DA in all of this, because their commentary in this debate is nothing short of hollow. The truth is, Johannesburg does not find itself in this mess by accident. We are here in large part because of the DA, because of their instability, because of their political maneuvering, because... Speaker, please protect me.
45 seconds, Councillor. Councillors, can we allow her to speak? Can we allow the councillor to speak? Listen.
In 2026, we'll have a
40
choice.
seconds left.
In 2026, we'll have a choice to remove a government that has failed you, a choice to reject the instability that has brought us here, and a choice to bring leadership that has already demonstrated that it can govern this city with discipline, with accountability, and with purpose. Leadership such as the former mayor, Herman Mashaba. HNS will not support a budget that reflects chaos, rewards failure, misleads the very same workers it claims to protect. We reject this adjustment budget, and we do so in the interest of the residents of Johannesburg. I thank you.
Councillor Santana from the DA. Councillor Santana.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I rise to speak on item 1, the operating adjustment budget for the 25-26 financial year. At the outset, it's important to ground this debate firmly with the legislation framework governing municipal finances, particularly the Municipal Finance Management Act, the MFMA, and its supporting regulations. Section 28 of the MMFA is the cornerstone provision in governing the municipal adjustment budget. It allows a municipality to revise its approved annual budget, but only under certain clear, defined, and legal permissible circumstances. Section 28(2) limits such adjustments to specific situations, including the downward adjustment of revenue and expenditure where there is material under collection, the appropriation of additional revenues that become available during the financial year, the authorization of unforeseen and unavoidable expenditure as recommended by the Mayor and also read together with Section 29, the shifting of projected savings between votes, the utilization of unspent funds from previous financial year, commonly referred to as rollovers, and the correction of material errors in the approval of the annual budget. Furthermore, Section 28(4) is explicit. Only the Mayor may table an adjustment budget, and Section 28(6) expressly prohibits any increase in taxes or tariffs during the financial year, except under very limited circumstances. These provisions exist for a reason, to protect municipalities from fiscal instability, political opportunism, and unfunded commitments. Madam Speaker, against this legislation backdrop, we must raise serious concerns regarding the adjustment budget before us today. Firstly, it is deeply concerning that the so-called political facilitator agreement is being introduced at this stage of an adjustment process, without any clarity on the contracted services or existing programs are being reduced, deferred, or cancelled to accommodate it. It requires explicit trade-offs, transparent reprioritization, and clear disclosure to Council and the public. None of this has been adequately demonstrated in the report before us. Again, it's almost politically opportunism. Secondly, there is a complete absence of credible feasibility assessments outlining the full cost of implementing the political facilitator agreement, the time frame over which those costs will materialize, and most importantly, how this expenditure will be funded within the existing fiscal envelope. Without such assessments, council is being asked to endorse expenditure decisions that may well push the city into financial distress. This is not only irresponsible, it's potentially unlawful. Thirdly, Madam Speaker, the adjustment budget fails to meaningfully account for escalating external cost pressures. The ongoing war in Iran has already begun to significantly affect global energy markets. At the time of the adjustment budget was compiled, Brent crude oil was trading at approximately $69 per barrel. As of this morning, it stands at approximately $108 per barrel. This has a direct and unavoidable implications for the city's operational costs, particularly fuel-intensive services such as our waste collection, our public transport, our emergency services, and all our fleet-dependent infrastructure operations. Yet these realities appear to be either underestimated or entirely absent from the financial modeling underpinning this adjustment. Madam Speaker, I'm now going to turn to Section 18 of the MFMA, which is arguably the most important and most crucial safeguard in all municipal financial law. Section 18 requires that a municipality may only approve a budget that is fully funded. In practical terms, this means that an annual budget must be funded from realistic anticipated revenue, such as rates and services, cash-backed accumulated surpluses from previous years, and borrowed funds, but only for capital expenditure, never for operating costs. The implications are clear and non-negotiable. Municipalities may not legally pass unfunded or unrealistic budgets. Revenue projections must be credible and evidence-based, and borrowing may not be used to mask operating deficits. Any council decision that creates a new expenditure without clearly identifying and lawful funding source is therefore in direct conflict of Section 18 of the MMFA. This places not only council, but also the municipal manager and the chief financial officer at risk of breaching their statutory duties. Finally, Madam Speaker, we must ask a fundamental question. Why does the report before us fail to include actual year-to-date financial performance extrapolated on the basis of information already available? Instead, Council is being asked to make far-reaching decisions based largely on an original budget assumptions, despite having 6 months of real expenditure and revenue data at our disposal. This undermines informed oversight and weakness Council's ability to exercise its fiduciary responsibility to its residents of the city. Madam Speaker, the Democratic Alliance cannot support an adjustment budget that introduces material new commitments without clear funding, ignores escalating external cost pressures, lacks proper feasibility assessments, and fails to demonstrate compliance with Sections 18 and 28 of the MMFA. Fiscal discipline is not optional. It's a legal obligation and it's foundation of sustainable service delivery. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Councillor. MMC Twako.
Thank you very much, Christine, to the councillors of the EFF and all the councillors that are here today. Speakers, they thought that they will blackmail the EFF into approving the budget while they are hiding behind their incompetence. Thinking that EFF can be bullied and frog-marched into approving issues or things that have not been a proper and thorough consultation. We're not scared to resign. We're not scared to move away and leave everything. But we're not going to be disrespected by the ANC. The workers know the truth. I want to address the workers, the JMPD workers. I want to address the EMS workers, the cleaners, the working class, and all those who are affected by the PFA. The EFF agrees that we must pass the PFA. And even today is going to pass. But the problem is that there was a situation where we went into a budget steering committee meeting and we submitted a wish list. This is what needs to happen. And we were waiting from the Department of Finance to come back and say, this you can get, you can't get. We managed to get a consultation or in terms of what is happening a day before the council. No consultation, none whatsoever, from our so-called partners. We've asked them that what is going to happen by the budget overdraft that is there, because we're almost now at 600 million. What is going to happen about? What's going to happen with the opposition that are there? What is going to happen by the overtimes and other things, the security of the city? What is going to happen about? What is going to happen about the bylaw enforcement of the city? Instead of that finance department coming in and really explain what needs to happen, all of that. There's been no a proper thorough consultation. Monies were taken and moved around as if we're little kids. No consultation, proper one. And we thought that maybe the new MMC, there will be a breath of fresh air, because we sort of had some problems before the other MMCs. But the other MMC, even though we had differences, he was able to approach the situation with humility and respect, even though we did not agree. But the new one wants to frog march the EFF, wants to bully the EFF. And what they did, they went out there and misinformation about the EFF. The EFF is for the workers. We are for the workers and the working class. We will never let you down. We will never do that.
Seconds.
Yes, ma'am. We will never let you down. We will always be on your side. We've contributed close to 100 million on PFA, but we had to sort out the bullyism and the arrogance of the ANC, and knowing them that we don't care whether we can go, but EFF will never be disrespected by anyone. We are going to approve today because of our numbers. They thought they had numbers. They thought that they can govern without the EFF. We are going to give you the PFA today, workers of COJ.
10 seconds.
We are going to approve it. We are going to give you the 100 million.
5
Take
seconds.
it and all of that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, MMC. Councillor Khatebe from the ANC. Councillor Khatebe from the ANC. Councillors. We have a councillor on the podium, Councillor Zita. We have a councillor on the podium. Councillor Khatebe.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Greetings to you, the Executive Mayor, the Deputy Executive Mayor, members of the Mayoral Committee, fellow councillors, residents of Johannesburg, abasebenzi base Johannesburg. I'd like to greet you. Madam Speaker, a mouthful was said last week when we were debating. Am I protected, Madam Speaker?
Councillor Zita, and I'm not sure, is it Councillor Fatima behind you? Can you guys please? Oh, there's Fatima. I'm not sure who the councillor is behind you. No, there's no debate on it. Councillor, carry on.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. A mouthful was said last week. There was a long debate where we made sure we clarify on the issues of why we support the budget. We acknowledge the weaknesses of the budget, including the strengths that come with this budget. And we also indicated that this is an honest budget that is pro-poor. There were a number of issues in terms of the debt and the other matters that are within the budget that the MMC was able to clarify even during her response, indicating that during a Section 79 meeting, we had a turnaround strategy that was given by the Group CFO and the team of how we're going to make sure that we go after that debtors book and we are able to make sure that the revenue comes in the municipality. But Madam Speaker, to come to this arena and politicize issues that should be more of economic issues, it's a serious problem. We are having political parties, in particular the Action SA,
who believe strongly that this platform should be used as a platform to push politics rather than tackling issues that are affecting the city of Johannesburg. Madam Speaker, if you look into this budget and you dive deep, one of the things that you'll notice is that one of the problems the city is experiencing, it's expenses that are rising based on employee cost. Councillor Nkonyeni last week kept on saying wage bill, wage bill. Now, if you trace back, where do we get that wage bill? We get that wage bill mainly from the insourcing that was done immaturely, that was done before proper planning, that was done because of political populism. Now, once you do insourcing, you definitely have to make sure that you maintain what we have done. Action SA brought workers here. Now that workers here, they are dumping the workers there. And will not agree to that, Madam
Councillor
Speaker.
Khatebe, can you just take your seat, Councillor Nkonyeni? Councillors. Councillor Khatebe, can you take your seat? Councillor Khatebe, can you take your seat? Councillor Nkonyeni?
Speaker, it's not a point of order. I rise on a point of personal explanation. And Speaker, can you protect me? Speaker, I have
Councillor.
never said, I have never spoken about the wage
Councillor,
bill.
Councillor. Councillors on my right hand side. Councillors. Councillors on my right. No, councillors,
Speaker,
please.
I don't want to be misquoted in this house.
I can't do anything if you don't keep quiet. Councillor Nkonyeni, I thought you're getting up on a point of order. I cannot accept that one. Thank you, Councillor. Please be seated. Please be seated. And can the noise stop here? Please. Councillor Khatebe, you can carry on.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. So, Madam Speaker, because as the ANC, we don't do things so that we become politically popular. We do things because we genuinely believe in them. When we said we were with the workers, we were genuinely saying that. When they did the insourcing so that they become popular. Or when they keep on talking about the insourcing, that was done by the mayor of the DA, by the way. They keep on claiming that so that they continue to be popular. But we are saying workers must know that Action SA has abandoned them. Action SA was never for them even from the beginning. They never cared about the workers. This budget, Madam Speaker, is to make sure that the workers that are in the front line, our workers at Joburg Water, City Power, and all the entities and the departments within the municipality get dignified remuneration. They get dignified salaries. And Madam Speaker, it's a pity that the MMC of Public Safety, MMC Chwako, feels that there was bullying that happened in the process. Madam Speaker, we strongly believe as the ANC that if you are a political party or an organization that strongly believes in the politics of the left, at no point you should be convinced about believing and supporting what the workers want. At no point someone should stand up and say, EFF, vote for the workers. But Madam Speaker, we highly appreciate the support that will be coming through from the EFF, but we strongly believe that the economic freedom fighters, as our partners in the council and also here, they should have made sure that they vote for the workers. They believe that the workers are with them, but unfortunately the rejection came. Madam Speaker, as the ANC, we fully support the budget. We know it has shortcomings, we know it has weaknesses, but we know the turnaround strategy. And we know that slowly but surely we are turning the corner. As the African National Congress, we support the budget. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Khatebe. MMC of Finance. MMC Masuku. Thank you, colleagues.
Thank you very much, Speaker. Good morning to you. The Executive Mayor, the Whip of Council, Chair of Chairs, all the chairpersons and the whips, a good morning. Madam Speaker, my well wishes to everyone on Heritage Day, which we'll be celebrating. And my responses will start on Chairperson Cook. My response remains the same as last week. Section 79, Madam Speaker, does not have the power to discuss and approve a budget. That response still remains the same. Thank you to Councillor Steenkamp, Councillor Harris, Councillor Mhlongo. All your remarks and support is noted. Councillor, through you, Madam Speaker, I agree 100% with Councillor Edward. 100% she is correct, Speaker, that indeed that under the DA Herman Mashaba mayorship, many challenges were brought to the city and many gains of democracy were actually reversed under that particular DA Mashaba leadership. As far as I know, Mashaba was never a mayor of Action SA unless we were in a different council. He was a DA mayor. But now, because Mashaba is a leader of Action SA, it means everything he did wrong in the DA, he's going to do wrong also in Action SA. Speaker, it is the DA Herman Mashaba that actually took away progressive programs like Josie at Work, the bread baking projects in our communities, money that was allocated to the Orange Farm and Ivory Park turnkey projects. It is the DA Mashaba government that reversed all of that and called them vanity projects. Speaker, it is the ANC, as Councillor Khadebe has correctly put it, that is normalizing the fact that now that we've got employees, be it cleaners, security, JMPD, we've got these employees who are insourced without a benchmarking program that was done on the finances. We are normalizing. Councillor Khadebe, where he is correct is that we appreciate the support that is now coming from even the economic freedom fighters to appreciate that we have to normalize, because this money is about the well-being of workers. It is about ensuring that they get the dignity that they deserve. We appreciate the support from the Patriotic Alliance, the MGP, the JPC, the IFP, the EFF, as well as the ACDP for all the support that they've indicated in this council. Speaker, I do want to address the matter that was raised, although I didn't like how Councillor Chwaku raised it earlier on before his speech. I have indicated that I've raised this with the SAMU leadership now while we're here. And I think it's important that if an incident like that happened, it must be attended to. Chairperson Mogapi is a woman, a young woman for that fact. So if as councillors you are going to be attacked by employees of the city, we must be the ones who address it and we must call it out. And sorry about that, Chairperson Mogapi. There was never any malice attended. We're in a house of political debate. We're in a house of political speech. And we must never allow people on the outside to use political speech and political debate as if it is an instigation against anybody. We must be tolerant of conversations in the political space. Lastly, Speaker, I have no issues with any concerns they are raised, but I do take exception on how Councillor Chwaku addressed it, pointing his fingers at me, raising his hands. It did not. Speaker, please protect me.
Colleagues, we allowed everybody. The MMC is right. Can we listen?
I respect him as my colleague. I respect the councillor as my colleague. We are in the same mayoral committee. We work well together. But the same way I have been able to articulate how concerned I am about what happened to Councillor Chairperson Mogapi. It can't be that in this chamber we address each other in that way. But I chose not to respond, just to say on the record, let's raise concerns properly. Let's speak to each other, especially because we are colleagues. Even matters of concerns in the Budget Steering Committee, I don't think they belong to council, because Budget Steering Committee is a process of MMCs. It's an internal process, not for the public. I thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, MMC. Colleagues, we have now come to the recommendations. The recommendations are on pages 122. Is the item agreed to? Colleagues, colleagues, the recommendations are on page 1.22. Is the item agreed to? Okay, it's a budget item. So I'll start with those that abstain. Can I see those that abstain? Colleagues, legal, hold on. We are ringing the bell. MMC, don't leave. We are ringing the bell for 1.5 minutes so that we can start voting. I really don't know why we move out of the chamber. Councillor Smith.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. It appears that there is an official, the Deputy Director of Petitions, in the chamber. So I think that is not allowed. Thank you.
Deputy Director of Petitions, are you in the chamber? If you are in the chamber, please leave the chamber. But I also don't want us, like the last time, Councillor Niman thought that the official was the IC and asked me, why is the IC sitting here? So if that official is there, Franz, get the official to get out. I'm not sure who's the official. Is he out? Oh, he's out. It's part of our support staff. Thank you. Can we ring the bell? Councillor Zita.
Please, Speaker.
Thank you.
Speaker, don't target.
No,
Don't target Councillor Zita, Speaker.
I know what I saw.
They are playing, Speaker. Please, Speaker. Masini doesn't have a problem with that. Please, don't target our council.
I assume we are all inside the chamber. We'll start counting. We start with those that abstain. There's no hands. Can we then have those, the noes? Can we see the noes? Zita's getting out of order. Ask Nanny, and it's something to eat with tea. Can they get me a sandwich and something to eat? Councillor Serrane, please switch off your mic. You may drop your hands. You may drop your hands. Can I have those who say yes? All the yeses, can you raise your hands? You may drop your hands, and we are asking just few minutes to consolidate.
Mapunu. Sebenzela mapunu.
Thank you, councillors. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I said thank you. I said thank you. Those who abstained, 0. Those who said no, 102. And those who said yes, 139. The item is carried. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Councillor Niemand. Councillor Niemand.
Yes, thank you, Speaker. Please note the DA's opposition to this
you,
item, and we
Councillor Niemand.
strongly reserve our rights. Thanks.
Thank you, Councillor Niemand. Councillor, you on the phone in the chamber. Can we go to the next item, STC?
Councillors, we proceed with item 2, and that is the capital adjustment budget for the 2025-26 financial year.
Can I call Councillor M. Smoser from the Patriotic Alliance?
Greetings in that wonderful name of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Greetings, Madam Speaker, Executive Mayor, Chief Whip of Council, PA Joburg 11 councillors under the capable leadership of our caucus leader, MMC Kenny Kunene, fellow councillors, and most importantly, residents of the city of Johannesburg. I rise to speak on item 2. The Patriotic Alliance notes this report with deep concern. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Councillor Smoser. Councillor Cook from Good.
Good day, Madam Speaker. Speaker,
hold on,
I rise
Councillor.
today on...
Just hold on, Councillor. Waar toe gaan ons alweer? Councillor Bidkou, waar toe gaan ons? Thank you, Councillor.
Thank you, Speaker. I hope my time has been reset. Speaker, I rise today on item 2, the capital adjustment budget. The capital adjustment budget before us today raises important questions, not only about numbers, but also about governance and delivery. Firstly, this budget should never have required intervention from the MEC for Finance. Council failed to adopt the adjustment budget previously because insufficient time was given for councillors to properly consider it. This is not a small administrative error. It reflects poor planning in one of the most important responsibilities of this council, the management of the city's finances. Speaker, the adjustment capital budget reduces the city's infrastructure investment from 8.7 billion to 8.4 billion. In a city facing severe infrastructure backlogs, this reduction requires careful scrutiny. More concerning is the reduction of 725 million in loan funding for infrastructure. This suggests that projects are not moving at the pace originally planned, and when we read through the report, the reason becomes clear that across many departments, projects are being reduced due to mid-year performance challenges. In other words, the city is not implementing its capital program as effectively as it should. Speaker, in the energy sector, we see major reductions in key projects. Funding for statistical meters has been reduced by 105 million. Upgrades to critical substations, such as Eikenhof and Hopefield, have been reduced. At a time when Johannesburg faces electricity network strain, delaying these investments can have long-term consequences. Speaker, the same concerns applies to water infrastructure. Funding reductions affect important projects such as the Woodmead Reservoir and several water main replacement programs. Residents across Johannesburg are already experiencing water outages and infrastructure failures. Infrastructure investment should be accelerating, not slowing down. Speaker, there are also reductions in housing and informal settlement projects, including funding cuts to the formalization of informal settlements. In a city facing a severe housing backlog, these delays directly affect the most vulnerable residents of our city. Speaker, the core issue here is not simply the size of the
40
capital
seconds
budget.
left.
It is the city's ability to implement the infrastructure projects it has planned. If projects are repeatedly adjusted downward because of the performance issues, then the city must confront the institutional problems that prevent the effective delivery. In closing, Speaker, Johannesburg residents deserve a municipality that can plan, budget, and implement infrastructure projects effectively. Good governance requires not only approving budgets, but also ensuring that those budgets translate into
9
real
seconds.
improvements for people's lives. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Olsen from the ACDP.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Greetings to you all in the name that is above all names, the name of the Lord Jesus Christ. Amen. Amen. Greetings to you, Madam Speaker, Executive Mayor, all protocols observed. Just to assist the Deputy Mayor, the Honorable Masuku, the Heritage Day is on the 24th of September. Human Rights Day is on the 21st. I thank you. God bless you all. God bless the sovereign state of Israel. Amen. God bless you.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Tim Songo from the AIC.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Greetings to all councillors in the chamber once more. Madam Speaker, I rise to debate, Madam Speaker, on the capital adjustment budget for the 2025-2026 financial year. Madam Speaker, as the African Independent Congress, we must also acknowledge that the city continues to operate under financial pressures. This requires disciplined spending, careful prioritization, and improved project management. Every rand allocated in the capital budget must deliver maximum value for the residents. Speaker, the AIC supports this adjusted capital budget because it allows the city to refine its allocation based on performance and operational realities during the financial year. It provides an opportunity to redirect resources to projects that are progressing well and address bottlenecks where spending has lagged behind. However, our support must be understood as a support with responsibility. We expect departments and entities to ensure that the approved capital projects translate into tangible development on the ground. In conclusion, Madam Speaker, the African Independent Congress supports item 2 because we recognize the importance of sustained capital investment in building a resilient, functional, and inclusive Johannesburg. Our residents deserve infrastructure that works, services that are reliable, and development that reaches every corner of the city. Therefore, we support and note the report. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Councillor Mhlongo. Councillor Nkonyeni from the Action SA.
Ngibingelele kwena Somlomo. Greetings to fellow councillors and the residents of Johannesburg. Speaker, it is shameful that the PFA, which in principle was supposed to address the salary gaps and standardize remuneration across municipal entities while restoring dignity to the workers, is today being used as a blackmailing tool and a campaigning tool for the ANC or a de-campaigning tool for Action SA. Speaker, this is the last kick of a dying horse. Abekho abantu abathanda umashaba njengama security nama cleaner. Because for the first time, through insourcing, he made sure that they mattered. They finally mattered. Now you can call it political grandstanding and campaigning for votes, Councillor Khatebe. Ningawubanga umsindo, niye nasemaphepheni nigijime neyintatheli, asinamsebenzi nalowo thina. Okusalayo sithi the residents of Johannesburg are not stupid. They will punish this uncaring ANC government, just as they did in previous elections. So to the residents of Johannesburg, I say, the time has come to remove igebengu namasela. This year is the local government election. Do not accept one loaf. Reject the promises. Chase them out of your yards. Tell them that they had 30 years, but Tinswalo is still unemployed and relying on 350. This is not a good story to tell. Remember the potholes, remember the water shortages, remember the power outages, the incorrect billing, the children that have died after eating Gama snacks from Abo, my friend. Remember the crime and lawlessness, because that is exactly what you will be voting for if you vote for an ANC government. Ngibonge, Speaker.
Councillor Santana from the DA.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise to speak on the capital adjustment budget for the 25-26 financial year. Madam Speaker, the capital budget highlights the financial strain with which Joburg finds itself. The fact that we are slowing down capital projects on the ground is indicative of the fact that we have cash flow issues within the city. And it saddens me because I have 3 projects in my ward that I do not see any progress on. And it's purely because we have no money to pay the contractors on the ground, or we delay payment to the contractors on the ground. And then we have labor dispute issues around rates, the labor rates. And I'm perplexed by the fact that we continuously down this road of not prioritizing our projects, securing the finance and the cash for our projects to ensure that service delivery is delivered to our residents. Madam Speaker, it's also an opportunity missed by the administration to increase Joburg Water's infrastructure allocation and ensure that Joburg Water infrastructure and allocation takes priority. And I'm referring to my Woodmead Reservoir because it's in my ward. And Madam Speaker, it's frustrating because I don't see any will from the political side of the ANC to drive and ensure that our CapEx is actually prioritized. And I don't know how we're going to address this matter, because we rather go spend money on frivolous increases or correcting certain issues that at this point in time the city cannot afford, instead of trying to offer service delivery where our residents are, not necessarily boycotting, but marching against the city for service of water to their homes. But we will not prioritize that. We will prioritize other issues that are not necessarily relevant at this time in the juncture of where the city finds itself. Madam Speaker, the Democratic Alliance does not support the CapEx budget. I thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Santana. MMC Twako from EFF, MMC.
Thank you very much, Speaker. I'm going to give it to Councillor Zita. At address abasebenzi.
Councillor Zita, you may take the mic.
Thank you very much, Speaker. Greetings to the residents of the city of Johannesburg, especially the workers of the city of Johannesburg. Speaker, I also want to clarify what was said last week regarding the EFF not caring about the workers. Just want to remind through you, Speaker, the MMC or the deputy mayor, that is the EFF that actually fought for the insourcing of cleaners and security guard for this city. It is the EFF that fought for a 3-system allowance for the GMPD workers. So we can't be told, Speaker, by MMC how we must care for the workers, because we already care for the workers. So that's what I want to clarify. And also, Speaker, the EFF tomorrow is having a voter registration launch. So we are appealing to the residents of the city of Johannesburg that come and form part of that launch. So, Speaker, I rise on item number 2. That's item number 2. Just a minute.
You have 2 minutes left.
Apologies about that. That thing of the president was jumping. It was also jumping on my side. So item number 2, Speaker, this item deals with adjustment of the city's capital budget for the 2025-2025 financial year, which was originally approved at 8.7 billion. The report now processed that the capital budget be reduced by 276 million, bring it down to 8.4 billion. For a resident of Johannesburg, this is not just a technical financial adjustment, it's a capital budget. The capital budget is the money used to build infrastructure, repair services, expand housing, and improve the daily lives of the resident. When the capital budget goes down, it means less investment in infrastructure service and services for our people. So, Speaker, the EFF has always maintained that budget are political documents. They show where government priorities truly lie. And when we analyze this adjustment budget carefully, it raises serious questions about whether the city is truly prioritizing housing, infrastructure maintenance, electricity, and reliability and service delivery for the working class. Johannesburg residents are already dealing with water shortages, collapsing roads, unreliable electricity, and shows housing, a slow housing delivery, At the same time, at a time like this, what residents expect from this council is more investment in infrastructure, not less. So the EFF believes that the city must strengthen its capital investment program and ensure that public resources are directed toward real investment in the lives of our people, especially those living in township, informal settlement, and neglected communities. Because ultimately, Speaker, the success of this budget will not be judged by financial tables in this report. It will be judged by whether the people of Johannesburg experience the real improvement in their life. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you, Councillor. Councillor Khatebe from the ANC.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Greetings, all protocol observed. Madam Speaker, when we look into the capital budget as the ANC, we fully support it, though there are major changes, particularly on our projected loans and the cash reserves. We were a bit concerned, but it is better, Madam Speaker, to come and present a budget that is truthful, rather than coming here and say we'll be able to do certain projects and come the financial year and we are not able to do those particular projects. So the adjustment in those cash and loans, it's precisely because we've reviewed some of the projects. We can see there's no progress on those particular projects. And we'll be lying to the people of Johannesburg if we are saying those projects will progress and those particular projects will be funded. Councillor Santana always says that we must present a budget that is funded. And I think those adjustments are precisely to ensure that the budget is fully funded. But another thing that was done brilliantly in this budget, we're able to tap into the grants from the National Treasury. I think 449 million will be then coming through, supporting our infrastructure development. Most of this money will be ensuring that we go into these emergency projects, making sure our electricity infrastructure is fine, our water infrastructure is fine, so that we've got a city that is functioning, a city that is growing. Madam Speaker, it's a pity that Councillor Nkonyeni believes that they should continue doing grandstanding. It's very sad to see a political party that idolizes and worships an individual. That simply tells you that without that particular individual, there's no political party. But the very same political party that idolizes and praises an individual also had MMCs that, were in deep scandals of whiskies. I will not even go there. When Councillor Mbundu was there. Currently, as we speak,
Councillor Khatebe, there's a hand at the back. I can't see you, and I can't see your name. Mpasula. Colleagues. Yes, Councillor.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Point of order, ne?
Yes, I'm rising on a point of order. Councillor Khatebe must not mislead the House. And what I want to tell him is that if you are staying in a glass house, don't throw the stones.
I asked for a point of order. Councillor Khatebe, continue.
No, thank you. Oh, Makelwan. But Madam Speaker, it's very disturbing. I know Councillor there is saying if you live in a glass house, you must not come here and throw stones. But we see what's happening in Tshwane. An MMC that is involved with cartels, that is collapsing the city of Tshwane. It's very embarrassing what Action SA is doing there. Madam Speaker, the African National Congress, we support the budget.
Colleagues. 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 No. It's a big no. It's a big no. It's a big no, but also the councillors that are walking in. Councillors, no. Councillor Khatebe, can you continue? Councillors, let's not be disruptive. Councillor Khatebe, can you continue?
No, thank you, Madam Speaker. I was concluding. As the African National Congress, we strongly believe in this capital budget. We believe it's the best that could have been done by the Budget Steering Committee, and we are sure that this budget will support the development and growth of the city of Johannesburg. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Khatebe. MMC Masuku.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Greetings once again to the Executive Mayor, your good self, Whip of Council, chairpersons, fellow MMCs, and all councillors. Thank you so much, Councillor Ralston. Indeed, human rights, very important. The rights for women to have equal pay, equal opportunities, for women to have safety. There are rights for safety against the scourge of gender-based violence. The rights of workers, for workers to get the remuneration that they deserve. The rights of all citizens to make sure that they get the services that Councillor spoke about, and conclusion by Councillor Khatebe. I do want to affirm and assure our Councillor Speaker that we have made all the necessary safeguards in terms of ensuring that this budget is funded, and we have considered all angles. And secondly, because we are a responsible government, we did not just do this on our own in terms of just calling this meeting. We do have permission in line with the Section 27(2) of the Municipal Finance Management Act, which empowers the MEC, and we do have that in writing. So this meeting is a duly constituted meeting in line with those prescripts. I do want to apologize, Councillor Cook. I think through you, Speaker, he raised a valid point in terms of the shortness of the period in the original meeting where the reports came. I think it's a fair criticism. That is why then the reports would not have concluded. We took that into consideration. And I think the point about infrastructure projects, and also Councillor Khatebe also raises it, our priorities is also there because that's what we want. We want the city to function. That is why we focused on a capital investment program, making sure that we work with different institutions to make sure that we raise the necessary money. I think that you will have seen the Executive Mayor and the different interministerial teams and the progress we are making in terms of the reservoirs, starting with Midrand, Brixton, and all these reservoirs are a priority because then they will ensure that water is provided. Security water is one of the most important priorities because water is a basic human right. So we take that, Councillor Santana, as an important point that we are raising for all citizens of Johannesburg. That is why that priority in terms of ensuring that we deal with the reservoirs is top priority. I just want to correct, the only reduction that was made on the loan funding was due to the metro trading reform grant that we coming into the city. So then the city will then move the loan component to the next financial year on the basis that the budget only reduced by 270 million from the KFW loan. So for the city, I mean, that money, so I'm correcting the assertion that there seems to be a perception that there's more money moved. No, it's 270 million from KFW loan, which will be moved to the next financial year, as agreed with KFW. So it's not a unilateral decision that we have taken. The point, through you, Speaker, I think Councillor Zita is correct, already as indicated. Development, growth, capital investment, infrastructure projects, ensuring that we have the appropriate balance sheet, deal with our debtors book, and I think we've spoken over and over about that, even in the Section 79. Before I sit down, Speaker, I do want to say that I think Councillor Zita is addressing the wrong person. The issues between them and Action SA must be addressed with them because we didn't make any claims. So I think Councillor Zita must go to Action SA or Action SA must go, because we don't know who's who now. Everybody's claiming what they're claiming. What we can claim as the African National Congress government, which is leading a Cllr government in the city of Johannesburg, we can claim that we have worked on the PFA. The other issues that they are contesting amongst each other, I think they must deal with them party to party, Mashaba to Mashaba, DA, Action SA, EFF, yona yonke zonke kuhlangane. We ask Council
10
to
seconds.
approve the budget.
Thank you. Colleagues, recommendations. Are we done? Colleagues, recommendations are on point 2.18. Is the item agreed to? Recommendations on page 2.18. Is the item agreed to? Okay, we'll start with those that abstain. I hope that everybody's in. So if they abstain, we don't miscount them. Those who abstain? No one? Can we then go to those that say no? Councillors. Councillor Boer is not here.
Speaker, you are looking beautiful today, Speaker.
Thank you so much. I'm not sure where it's coming from.
Wajola.
You are allowed to drop your hands. Can I? Those that say yes.
Umsebenzi uyanyamezela, umsebenzi uyanyamezela, noma kunzima, noma kulula, umsebenzi uyanyamezela, noma kunzima, noma kubuhlungu, umsebenzi uyanyamezela, umsebenzi uyanyamezela, umsebenzi uyanyamezela, noma kunzima, noma kubuhlungu, umsebenzi uyanyamezela,
Nomata, uyanyamezela, ifata.
Lianyambezi, noma kunzima, noma kubuhlungu ifighter. Lianyambezi,
Amandla.
Lianyambezi la ifighter. Lianyambe, hoy 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 yo, hoy 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 yo, hoy 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 yo, hoy 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 yo. Ay 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 no.
Take away that mic, take away that mic, Nasrasela.
Lianyambe, hoy 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 yo, hoy 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 yo, ay 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 ay.
Can they lower their hands? You may lower your hands. You may lower your hands. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Councillor Pan, so excited.
Thank you so much. There was no one that abstained. Those that said no is 102, and those who said yes is 139. The item is carried. Thank you so much. Councillor Niemand.
Yes, thank you, Speaker. Please record the DA's opposition to the item and we reserve our rights.
Councillor
Thank you.
Niemand. Colleagues. Colleagues. Right, STC, next item.
Councillors, we are on item 3, and that is the 2025-26 media review of the institutional service delivery and budget implementation plan, the departmental and municipal entities business plans.
Thank you so much, councillors. The first speaker is Councillor Cook from Good.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Speaker, the Service Delivery and Budget Implementation Plan is not simply an administrative document. It is the contract between this city and the residents we serve. It translates our plans, our promises, and our budget into measurable commitments, and that is precisely why the mid-year review before us today deserves careful scrutiny. Because what this report effectively does is revise many of those commitments halfway through the year. Speaker, there are over 160 proposed changes to performance indicators and targets across departments and municipal entities, 160 proposed changes. That is an extraordinary amount of revisions, which raises an important question. Were the targets unrealistic to begin with, or is the city struggling to deliver on what it promised its residents? Speaker, one of the most concerning changes relates to repairs and maintenance. The city originally set a target spending of 8% of the value of its infrastructure assets on maintenance. The target has now been reduced down to 7%, but the city's actual performance at mid-year stands at 2.2%. In a city facing collapsed infrastructure, water leaks, potholes, and electricity network failures, reducing the maintenance ambition, I think, sends the wrong message. Speaker, we also see troubling signals in housing and electrification programs. Targets for housing connections are being revised because of contractor payment challenges. Let me put that into different words. Projects are being delayed because contractors are not being paid. Furthermore, the report admits that some electrification projects cannot proceed because the business plan did not allocate the required funding in the first place. Speaker, there are also worrying changes in performance monitoring itself. For example, the KPI measuring daily passenger ridership on the Rio Via BRT system has been removed from the institutional SDBIP. Residents
52
deserve to know
seconds.
why that performance measure is being removed rather than reported on. Speaker, Good understands that adjusting targets may sometimes be necessary, but when we see the scale of revisions across the city's performance framework, it raises a deeper concern about planning, implementation, and institutional capacity. In closing, the purpose of performance management is not to make targets easier to achieve. It is to ensure that the city improves its delivery to residents. Johannesburg deserves a municipality that sets ambitious targets, but we must deliver on them, not adjust them mid-year.
Thank you so much, Councillor. The next councillor is ACDP, Councillor Harris.
Through you, Madam Speaker, I am pleading with our visitors from Mangaung, please don't benchmark the out-of-tune singing. Madam Speaker, we run the risk of the institutional service delivery and budget implementation plan merely being an aspirational document. There is mention of artificial intelligence leak detection, but to date, we have still to see the evidence of this, especially where residents are raising disputes relating to water leaks. The city is going to be found wanting with regard to the living conditions of senior citizens living in retirement villages. Between the Social Development Department and the Housing Department, there is a severe gap when it comes to the conditions of the senior citizens' residents. As far as the EPWP program is concerned, we have great cause for concern considering that this budget has been reduced drastically. The reason given is that the pay increases has been taken to 350 Rand per day from the 220 Rand per day. Also, the EPWP incentive grant was reduced. In light of unemployment levels being at pandemic proportions, the ACDP believes that it is highly insensitive to minimize this initiative as it contributes to heightened service delivery as well as reducing unemployment to a degree. 400 bad buildings are identified, only 10 are earmarked for disposal or sale. This is a sign that the city is not too interested in implementing bylaws and rooting out the cancer of bad buildings. Daniel Flats is earmarked for rehabilitation once again for the third year in a row. We are delighted with the funds allocated to Hexrefir, Cllr Court, and Outeniqua. However, there is no plan for the residents living in garages with no water or pollution facilities. Hopefully, the rebuilding of the Union Stadium and the adoption of a Westbury Precinct Development Plan will find expression in the next iteration of the IDP. Madam Speaker, in the interest of continuity and service delivery with no expectation of any reward, the ACDP notes and supports this item. I thank you.
Thank you so much, Councillor Harris. Councillor K. Pitso from the Patriotic Alliance.
Greetings to the Lord Jesus Christ, our wonderful councillor. Special salutations to the residents and the councillors of the fastest growing political party, the Patriotic Alliance, under the effective stewardship of MMC Kunen, and all protocol observed. I rise to speak on item 3. Madam Speaker, the report shows that our city is predominantly reliant on loans. Loans fund a whopping 33% of the city's capital budget. Madam Speaker, this is alarming and unhealthy. In these chambers, I've heard councillors complimenting that we are paying our loans well, which means that you can keep making more loans. But Madam Speaker, loans have interests, and that's what worries me. These loans help with upgrading critical infrastructure, but their financial implications cannot be overlooked. These loans are the ones putting pressure on our annual budgets. Therefore, the funding model of loans must be reviewed. This aggressive reliance on loans is brewing a disastrous recipe for the future of this city. And through you, Speaker, Executive Mayor Dara Morero, are you the mayor who will free this city from the reliance of loans? Or should the city wait for another mayor in the next term? Speaker, it is clear that MMC Kunen is doing his part to bring an integrated initiative called Operation Restore, in which is a visionary operation that integrates all resources and officials from the transport department, from all regions of Johannesburg, to focus restoration efforts in towards per week across the city. This operation was born as a mitigation tactic due to issues like budget cuts. In the transport department, we have seen the capacity and the political will from the MMC, but the executive mayor is forever limiting the MMC's political power of exercising his will by subjecting MMC with perpetual annual budget cuts.
Councillor Pitso, just hold on. Colleagues, we can't hear him.
Can you please protect me, Speaker?
That's what I'm doing.
Thank you.
Can you switch off your mic? Colleagues, can we stop that, please? We can't hear him. Councillor Pitso, can you go?
Thank you, Speaker. The GLU is a marriage, and this marriage must be fixed, even with criticism. I've seen some councillors in these chambers trying to discriminate MMC Kunen and saying that he has not done this and that in their wards. But the executive mayor is the one who has given birth to their problems, not MMC. Why is MMC's budget being deliberately cut?
Colleagues, he's speaking. Carry on, Councillor Pitso. Unless you have a point of order, let me see the hands. No, it's fine, you can go.
Thank you, Speaker.
You have 49 seconds left.
Why is MMC's budget being cut deliberately and then he has to take the blame?
$35 seconds.
Anywho, MMC Kunen, the reasons I've seen your work as the interim mayor and as the MMC. You have done the unprecedented since 2023 with Operation Restore. Despite annual budget cuts, we believe that the residents will stand with you as you take this city as the executive mayor come 2026 LGE. As the Patriotic Alliance, we note this item. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Pitso. Councillor Apane from Action SA.
Yeah.
Councillor Apane.
Thank you, Speaker. Greetings to you, colleagues, members of public, all protocol observed.
There's a councillor on the right here, somewhere at the back there, please.
Greetings
you can
to
carry
you.
on.
Greetings to you all. I rise on item 3, the 2025-26 mid-year review of the institutional service delivery and budget implementation plan. There are repeated findings of the Auditor General for the unauthorized and wasteful expenditure, and there is no consequence management from the city on the implicated entities. Madam Speaker, it is concerning that some entities are underperforming year in, year out. They've actually become a liability to the city. The question is, how do other municipalities like Tshwane get them right? The answer in the city of Johannesburg is to change leadership. Instead of replacing the underperforming mayor, we play politics by creating the unbudgeted position of executive deputy mayor. The beneficiaries tell the outsourced cleaners,
Councillor Apane.
Am I protected?
Direct to me. Colleagues, can we stop this, please? Councillor Pane, carry on.
The benefic-
Councillor Pane, can you carry on?
The
Your time is going.
the beneficiaries tell the outsourced cleaners and security guards that their positions were not budgeted for. How ironic. The city is falling apart and the elephant is in the room. There is a concern that this report does not yet inspire confidence in accountability. As a result of failures of some entities, there is frustration from residents about poor service delivery, including infrastructure failures and ineffective execution of core municipal services. For example, water, roads, electricity, waste. Waste bins, we see them lying all over the streets, week in, week out, without being collected, causing health hazard to the residents. There is widespread public criticism over high salaries of municipal entity executives relative to performance. High levels of unauthorized, irregular, fruitless, and wasteful expenditure remain significant concern. Residents continue to express frustrations with billing errors, poor customer service, and perceived bureaucratic influence when dealing with municipal accounts or service complaints. Excellent position service delivery at the core function of the local government, treating residents as customers whose needs must be met with reliable services. Action SA approves this report with reservations. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Carl Jacobs from the DA. And your colleagues are running in, and you have to speak. You can start, your minutes are starting.
Thank you.
Has started, I mean.
Speaker, the mid-year review of the Service Delivery Budget Implementation Plan report, read together with the adjustment budget, revealed the true state of the city's finances and its ability to deliver services to residents. Instead of correcting course, the city continues to operate under severe financial strain, with poor planning, unrealistic targets, forcing the administration to scale back on service delivery targets. One of the most worrying issues is the continued underfunding of infrastructure maintenance. The city is reducing its repairs and maintenance target from 8% of property, plant, and equipment to just 7.1%, because the budget cannot sustain the recommended level of maintenance spending. However, they won't even meet this revised target. This is not just a minor technical adjustment, it is an admission that the city does not have the financial capacity to properly maintain its own infrastructure. Delaying maintenance today simply guarantees far more expensive repairs tomorrow. The financial pressures facing the city are also clearly affecting the implementation of infrastructure projects. The report confirms the delayed or non-payment to contractors is impacting project performance, forcing the city to revise or reduce these targets. When contractors are not paid on time, work slows down, projects stall, and costs escalate. Residents ultimately pay the price through unfinished road upgrades, delayed water infrastructure repairs, and electricity network failures that take even longer to resolve. This means that the critical electricity infrastructure projects are now delayed simply because the city failed to properly plan and allocate its finances. At the same time, the city has entered into a politically facilitated agreement that will increase employee-related costs to by approximately 1.35 billion rand, without adding any additional value or capacity to service delivery. This decision comes at a time when the city's finances are already under extreme pressure. Instead of directing scarce resources towards fixing water infrastructure, stabilizing electricity supply, and repairing deteriorating roads, the city has committed billions more to employee costs without improving the city's ability to actually deliver those services. Quite simply, Johannesburg cannot afford this. Taken together, these issues paint a troubling picture for the city's financial health. The SDBIP does not represent a bold plan to restore stability or accelerate service delivery. Instead, it reflects a municipality that is struggling to meet its own commitments. Scaling back projects and lowering expectations because finances simply do not meet or support the plans that were originally approved. The residents of Johannesburg deserve better than this cycle of unrealistic promises followed by reduced targets and delayed projects. They deserve a city government that plans properly, budgets responsibly, and prioritizes the infrastructure that keeps the city running. We therefore reject this reviewed and revised SDBIP.
Thank you, Councillor Kyle. The next councillor is Councillor Khatebe from the EFF.
Thank you, Speaker. Let me greet the EFF caucus whip, Councillor Tabisa Mokhapi, fellow councillors present here, guests in the gallery, and most importantly, the residents of the city of Johannesburg, whose lives are directly affected by the decisions we take in this chamber. Speaker, this report deals with what is called the mid-year review of the SDBIP, which is the instrument that translates the city's budget and development plans into actual service delivery commitments. In simple terms, the SDBIP is supposed to answer a basic question for residents. What exactly will the city deliver this year? And how will we measure whether it has been delivered or not? The SDBIP is therefore not just an internal administrative document. It is effectively a contract between the city administration, this council, and the residents of Johannesburg. The report before us proposes adjustment and deviations to targets and performance indicators halfway through the financial year. These adjustments affect both departments of the city and municipal entities. Some of these adjustments are justified on the basis that the city wants to improve the quality of its indicators and align them with the SMART principles, meaning that targets must be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. While this may sound reasonable, the critical question we must ask as councillors is whether these adjustments are truly about improving measurement or whether they are about lowering expectations because the city is struggling to meet its own targets. One example highlighted in the report is the reduction of the target for spending on repairs and maintenance of infrastructure. Initially, the target was set at 8% of property, plant and equipment, but the city is now revising that target downwards because the approved budget only allows for about 7.1%. This may sound like a technical adjustment, but for residents, this has a very serious and real consequences. When we reduce maintenance spending targets, we are effectively accepting that broken infrastructure will remain broken for longer. And in a city like Johannesburg, where residents are already experiencing frequent electricity outages, water leaks, collapsing roads, and failing infrastructure, lowering maintenance ambition is deeply concerning. Another issue highlighted in the report is the revision of housing delivery targets, particularly relating to dwellings connected to municipal electricity supply. The report indicates that the contractor payment challenges have affected progress and therefore quarterly targets must be adjusted. But Speaker, residents do not experience housing delivery in terms of quarterly indicators. They experience it in terms of whether they receive a house or remain in informal settlements year after year. When housing delivery targets are revised, communities waiting for dignified shelters are the ones who will suffer the consequences. The EFF has consistently argued that performance management in government must never become a bureaucratic exercise designed to protect the administration.
50 seconds.
It must be a tool that strengthens accountability to the people. If targets are unrealistic, they must be fixed at the planning stage. But once the city commits to service delivery targets, those commitments must be treated as promises to residents, not flexible administrative guidelines. The people of Johannesburg are already facing enormous challenges. Speaker, the EFF therefore insists that any revisions to the SDBIP must strengthen transparency and improve service delivery rather than becoming a mechanism to normalize underperformance within the administration. Because ultimately, the real report card of this municipality will not be written in performance indicators. It will be written in the daily lives of the residents of the city of Johannesburg. I thank you.
Councillor Modupi from the ANC.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Honorable Speaker, Executive Mayor, Deputy Executive Mayor, fellow councillors. Today, we are not just discussing item number 3. We are discussing whether the people of Johannesburg will feel change in their lives. This plan speaks about 84.8 billion in revenue, 89.3 billion across the city, and about 8.4 billion for the infrastructure. But to our people, these are not numbers. To them, it is simple. It is whether the lights come on at night. It is whether water comes out of the tap in the morning. It is whether the road they walk on is fixed. It is whether a family can finally get a place to stay and stop being crushed by rent. Madam Speaker, let us be honest. There are those in this council who want to turn everything into politics. Even something as serious as this, to oppose everything, to criticize everything, to reject everything. But to our people, this is not just a debate. They are living in struggle, Madam Speaker. And struggle does not need speeches, it needs delivery. Even those on the opposition benches must understand, not everything must be fought, not everything must be rejected. Some things must be supported because our people cannot wait. Madam Speaker, a plan like this is not perfect, but it is necessary. Because without a plan, nothing moves forward. Without a plan, no road is fixed, no pipe is repaired, no house is built. And let us say this clearly, Madam Speaker. Every rent in this plan must mean something to our people. Because when money is not spent, where it must be spent, it is just money sitting somewhere. It is a community left behind. Madam Speaker, our people are waiting. They are waiting for electricity. They are waiting for water. They are waiting for roads. They are waiting for potholes to be closed. They are waiting for housing. They are waiting for a chance to breathe. We cannot fail them because we want to score political points. Madam Speaker, the ANC caucus supports this plan not because everything is perfect, but because our people need movement, not delay. Let us move, let us implement, let us deliver, because in the end, our people will not remember what we said here. They will remember what we changed in their lives. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Councillor Madupi. MMC Masuku, Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Speaker. Once again, just want to reiterate that the media review should be understand that it's a legislated process, and the review ensures that the city's performance and commitments remain realistic, financially aligned, attainable, and implementable for the remainder of the financial year. I think it's important that I address the concern raised by the councillor on the loans. The CAPEX funding is made up of cash, loans, and grants. And this is an optimal mix of funding, which is actually encouraged by National Treasury. And currently, there are only 3 metros that can actually do this. It's eThekwini, Johannesburg, and Cape Town. So this is not an anomaly in terms of how we actually do our funding plan and the model that we use, in particular in terms of how we fund CAPEX. So I thought it was important to allay the fears of councillors that we're not doing anything illegal or outside the law. I also want, Speaker, to address the concern on the issue raised by Councillor Pitso. Councillor Pitso, we all have the capacity in the government of local unity and the political will. That is why we go out and we serve residents. And I think it will be disingenuous to make an allegation on record that the executive mayor took money from certain departments. there is a process that is done in the city, and it's a budget steering committee. And yes, there are certain revisions that will affect certain departments, but we've got a platform to air those concerns. We've got a platform to clear those particular concerns. And then when we come to council collectively, I think it's important that we must treat the reports as a collective report, because we are here to make sure that this governance oversight is done, and these deviations actually were even reviewed by the Group Audit Performance Committee in the city. And by the way, not all proposals were supported, which demonstrates a robust, independent oversight and strengthening the credibility of the revised SDBIP. And I must indicate that a significant portion of the deviations actually relates to technical alignment with National Treasury Circular 88, including improvements to calculation methods, terminology, and data definitions. These changes enhance compliance and national comparability. And its evidence on improved performance, it's there. And it indicates that those targets where we've done well, we've actually increased, and this demonstrates that the city does raise ambition where delivery and capacity are demonstrated. We complied with the legal requirements, and we did not downgrade service delivery targets. We focused on what I've already indicated and the quality of the KPIs, and to make sure that the KPIs are implementable and the performance framework is able to withstand the test of time. So I do want to ask that we support this report, because it is a legislated report, and we are actually in line, both in line with Circulars 13 and Circular 88 of National Treasury. I ask Council to approve. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you so much, MMC. Colleagues, the recommendations are on page 3.24. The item is for noting. Is it noted? Thank you.
We now proceed with item 4, and that is the 20.
Hold on, STC, there's a hand. Councillor Niemand.
Yes, please note the DA's opposition against this item. All votes for noting. Thank you, and we reserve our rights.
Councillor, are you against what Councillor Niemand said? Okay, let's hear.
Speaker, I'd like to bring to your attention and the attention of the chamber that, having called out an official in this chamber for sitting in this chamber, she subsequently threatened to beat up one of my councillors.
Colleagues, please.
I have written to you, and I trust that this matter will be taken very, very seriously. Thank you.
Councillor Smith, I thought because you had written to us that we are noting it. I don't know whether I've responded to you, but we are noting what you have said to us. Right, STC? We are on our last item.
The fourth item, councillors, it's the 2025-26 Institutional SDBIP Mid-Year Service Level Standards Review, and that's for deviation and adjustments.
Thank you. Our first speaker is Councillor Simon Say from the Patriotic Alliance.
Good afternoon, Madam Speaker, to our colleagues in the House. Madam Speaker, for my 3 minutes, I'm not going to speak on item. I just would like to bring to your attention the disrespect that this councillor has towards fellow councillors. I think it's very unethical, and it is very disheartening sitting here in this council chamber where we cannot give our point of views. Anybody can stand up and praise the MMCs and their political parties. So I feel that it is very unfair when we do speak about Councillor Kenny Kunene, MMC Kenny Kunene, for the House to do that. And with saying that, Madam Speaker, as the Patriotic Alliance, we do note this report. Thank you.
Councillor Samonse, I would have thought what you are saying is a response to what was said from Councillor Pitso. I'm not going to debate on it, but it's something that should be taken offline and not here if you have an issue of how your matter or how your debate was answered. Okay. Thank you, Councillor Simonse. Councillor Cook.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Speaker, service level standards are meant to be the city's promise to residents. They outline the minimum level of service people can expect from the municipality. These shouldn't necessarily be moving targets. Today, Council is being asked to approve a number of mid-year deviations and amendments to the city's service level standards across several departments, including City Power, the City of Johannesburg Ombudsman, Corporate and Shared Services, and the City of Johannesburg Health Department. Some of the proposed changes are technical corrections, and those may well be reasonable. But other changes do raise a slight concern that the city is adjusting the way performance is measured rather than improving the services themselves. One example is the proposed amendment within the health department, where the existing standard measuring clinic waiting times is effectively replaced by an indicator focused on how quickly complaints are resolved. Speaker, residents do not experience service delivery through performance indicators or technical definitions. They experience service delivery while standing in the long queue at a clinic. Speaker, if waiting times at clinics is a problem, then the solution is not to remove the indicator that measures this. The solution is to fix the service. Similarly, changes proposed by City Power adjust the way the city measures how quickly it communicates about power interruptions. Anyone, and that means everyone in Johannesburg, has experienced an outage in the city and knows that communication remains one of the biggest frustrations residents face from City Power. The city should therefore be strengthening this standard, not redefining them. Service standards are meant to strengthen accountability. If they are amended, the test must always be, does this improve transparency, and does this improve service delivery for our residents? If the answer is no, then Council should be cautious about approving those changes. Speaker, Johannesburg residents deserve better services, not better explanations of why services are failing. I thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Cook. Councillor Rolson from the ACDP.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. The ACDP, and greetings to all the colleagues and all protocols observed. The ACDP notes this report. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Rolson. Action SA, Councillor Mabunda.
Shewani Speaker, February 44, vakhanselara kuroli, vayini lava nga etlhelo ra ntlawa na vaaki va le Joni. Tani Action SA hi kongomisa hi ku tinyiketela la leswaku hi nga tsekatseki eka vulamuli bya vaaki na vufambisi lebyi nga na milawu ya mahanyelo eka hina ku nyikiwa ka vukorhokeri a hi xihoxo xa tipolitiki ntsena. I ndlela leyi hi nga vuyiselaka xindzhuti xa miganga ya hina ha yona. Hi xivumbeko xa xiviri xa vulamuli bya vaaki. Leswi tiyisisaka leswaku muaki un'wana na un'wana u kuma vukorhokeri bya nkoka lebyi a faneleke ku byi kuma. Hi yona mhaka leyi hi tshameke hi teka xiyimo eka khansela leyi. Hi tiyimisele ku seketela leswi hatlisaka ku nyikiwa ka vukorhokeri hikuva hi twisisa ku hatlisa ka swilaveko swa miganga ya hina. Hambiswiritano ku tinyiketela ka hina eka vufambisi lebyi nga na milawu ya mahanyelo ku lava leswaku hi endla leswi hi vutihlamuleri a ni nge vi rubber stamp ntsena. ku lavisisa vululami bya vaaki, ku ti hiteka na ku kambisisa vukheta hi ku tirhisa ku bula loku. Hi tiyisisa leswaku switirhisiwa swi tirhisiwa kahle, naswona lava nga na vusweti a va vavisiwi hi ku tlanga hi mali kumbe tiproject leti nga hlengelengangiwiki kahle. Action SA yi ta tshama yi lwela ku hatlisa ku nyikiwa ka vukorhokeri, kambe hi ala ku nyikela vufambisi lebyi nga na milawu ya mahanyelo na mafambiselo ya mfumo lama nga riki kahle. Inkomu.
I'm hoping that the MMC understood. Councillor K. Jacobs. Just hold on, Councillor Jacobs, there's a hand.
Speaker, something's burning in the chamber.
We are looking into what it is. We are looking into what it is. We have just sent Franz to check what it is. You can see it's going down. You can see it's going down. It might be outside. We are checking. Let's not panic. Councillor Kyle?
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, item 4 simply reads exactly as item 1, 2, and 3. The deviation and adjustments in the service level standards does not improve the outcomes in service delivery to residents. Therefore, we do not support the deviations and adjustments. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Kyle. I think there is a need. I think there is a need for us to really check out this, because it's even getting onto some of our chests. Yeah, there is someone, we're going on, but there is people downstairs. Councillor Khatebe from the EFF. Councillor Khatebe from the EFF.
Thank you, Speaker. At first glance, this report might sound technical. But when we translate it into plain language, it is about the standards that the city comprises, that the city promises residents when delivering services. These standards tell residents how long they should wait for electricity repairs, how quickly complaints must be handled, and how efficiently municipal services should respond to the needs of communities. In simple terms, Speaker, these standards form the contract between the city and the residents of Johannesburg. Now, what this report is asking Council to do is to change some of these services standards in the middle of the financial year. These changes affect several departments, including City Power, the Ombudsman, Corporate and Shared Services, and the Health Department. The justification given in the report is that some indicators need to be corrected, clarified, or aligned with the so-called SMART principle. But Speaker, the real question we must ask is, are these changes improving services for the residents, or are they simply adjusting targets because the city cannot meet them? For example, when we talk about electricity interruptions, residents of Johannesburg do not care about technical definitions of indicators. What they care about is very simple. When the lights go off, how long does it take for the city to respond? In many communities, the answer is not hours or days, but sometimes weeks and even months. When we talk about clinics, residents do not care about performance terminology. They care about whether they will stand in a queue for 2 hours, 4 hours, or the entire day before seeing a nurse. And when we talk about complaints to the Ombudsman, residents simply want to know whether the city will listen and resolve their problems. Speaker, the EFF believes that service delivery standards should never be adjusted in any way that lowers the expectations of government or excuses poor performance. Instead, standards must push the administration to work harder and deliver better services to the people. The EFF has always been clear in its documents and policy positions that government must be measured by the lived reality of the people, not by internal reports and technical indicators. If residents are sitting in the dark, if clinics are overcrowded, and if complaints are not resolved, then no adjustment of indicators can hide the truth. The people of Johannesburg deserve clear service commitments, strict accountability, and a municipal administration that takes performance seriously. Therefore, while the city may need to refine technical indicators, this council must ensure that these adjustments do not become a tool to dilute accountability or mask poor service delivery. The real measure of success will not be found in reports or revised indicators. It will be found in the daily experiences of the residents of Johannesburg. And that is the standard by which this council must always judge itself. I thank you, Speaker.
Thank you so much. Colleagues, on the smell that came up, those people that are smoking, officials and councillors, were smoking at the bottom, and that is the smell that came through. You can all know that that smell is gone. So please don't smoke around the chambers. Councillor Madupi.
Let me thank you again, Madam Speaker.
Can you take your seat, Councillor Munyai?
Greeting to you, Madam Speaker. I thought like the ANC is baking the bread and
We'll teach you about point of order. Switch off your mic. Councillor Motupi.
Thank you again, Madam Speaker. You know, Madam Speaker, sometimes I think if our kids could watch us here, would really not take us serious as their parents. The way we behave, I don't think that even at their schools they behave in this particular fashion. Madam Speaker, I rise here today to speak on item number 4. Let us be clear from the outset. Madam Speaker, deviations are not a sign of a failure. They are a requirement of responsible governance. In terms of the Municipal Finance Management Act, Section 72, the city is required to conduct a mid-year performance assessment and identify areas where implementation is not aligned with the plan. This is exactly what we are doing here today, Madam Speaker. This process is further guided by MFMA Circular 13, which allows for the revision of the SDBIP, provided such changes are brought before Council for approval. So these deviations are not arbitrary. They are legally prescribed, procedurally compliant, and necessary for accountability. We are dealing with a city that delivers over 160 core services, guided by more than 170 service commitments across departments and entities. At this scale, it is inevitable that implementation will reveal gaps. The question is not whether gaps exist, the question is whether we correct them. Deviations arise because plans are tested in real conditions. They are refined to ensure clearer management, clearer measurement, realistic targets, and better alignment with service delivery realities. A target that cannot be measured cannot be enforced. And a plan that cannot be enforced cannot serve the people. This is also in line with the Municipal Systems Act, Section 41, which requires municipalities to set measurable performance targets. So, Madam Speaker, when we adjust indicators to make them more specific and measurable, we are not lowering standards. We are complying with the law. A capable municipality is not one that never adjusts. It is one that continuously improves. A system that refuses to correct itself is not strong, Madam Speaker. It is irresponsible. Now, let me address the opposition. You cannot reject legally required adjustments and at the same time demand better service delivery. You cannot oppose the correction of performance indicators and then complain about poor accountability. That is a contradiction. These deviations are part of strengthening governance, not weakening it. These adjustments are required by legislation, driven by oversight, and necessary for improved service delivery. We are not lowering the bar. We are making the bar measurable, enforceable, and real. And that is what our people deserve. Now, talking to our people. Madam Speaker, standing here and representing the old liberation movement in the continent, I'm calling to our people to join us tomorrow as we will be going to Constitutional Hill to march in support of the sovereignty of our country, which is South Africa. We are saying that we cannot be dictated upon by the external forces with their agents such as AfriForum, those who want to tell us how to conduct our businesses. No one will send even their ambassadors and tell us how we behave. As the African National Congress, we are going to be demonstrating to show the world that we are a sovereign state and we must be respected as such. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Councillor. MMC Masuku.
Thank you, Speaker. Councillor Madupi, we ask Council to note the report.
Thank you, MMC. Colleagues, the report is, the recommendations are on page 4.8. Is the item noted? Thank you. Councillor Niemand.
Yes, firstly, thank you, Speaker. Please note that the DA's opposition to this item and we reserve our rights. Secondly, Speaker, this chair situation is still not fixed. If we can please look at it before the council meeting up and coming. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Councillor Niemand. To those councillors there that are packing up, we have not done with council. We are still busy. We are still in session. STC.
Councillors, we are now on announcements.
Announcements are as follows. You are all reminded that the ordinary council meeting has been moved to 30 and 31 March 2026. And we also want to thank all councillors for your attendance and your contribution. We want to thank our guests, members of the media. We are honored by your presence. We also want to say thank you to the residents of Johannesburg who are following the council proceedings through Facebook. Councillor Madupi, I love what you said, that we should be cognizant and think of what our children says when they watch it, and even the residents. I want to thank you all for your attendance today. The meeting is adjourned.
Long live the Speaker.
Winnie Madikizela house tomorrow. Come to Gandhi Square tomorrow, 10 o'clock. Speaker.
Come to Gandhi Square for prayer.
Tomorrow at Winnie.
We didn't see anything.